What's up, comic book fans? Pete here from Comic Books Transformed, where me and my good friend Brian over there discuss comic books that have been adapted into movies and streaming shows. Poor Brian is going to have to hear this fucking intro 3 times today because we were covering so many goddamn comic book shows that are out currently. Finished. It's okay. Okay, good. We just finished our review of Invincible Season 4, Episode 6. Now it's time for us to talk about The Boys, Season 5, Episodes 1 and 2. Brian, whenever we do our shows, I like to end with like a little sexual pun at the very end there. And I've been struggling. I need some like Blue Chew or something, man, because I couldn't think of some past few times. With The Boys and Gen V, that's not a problem whatsoever, is it?
No.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many dicks and inside of dicks and parts of things that I wouldn't expect to see in shows.
Yes. Yeah, every episode just chock full of disturbing stuff. When I knew we had to watch so much shit to talk about on our channel, I was like, I usually watch a show when I eat dinner with my mom once a week. Should I watch The Boys? And I was like, no fucking way. No.
With the worm around.
Yeah, right. So there's so much to cover in these first 2 episodes that are on Amazon Prime. I think what we should just do, man, is we should just go for the most sensational stuff first. Just get it out of the way. Just talk about what we want to talk about versus like recapping everything. But I think we need to talk about spoilers, guys. We're just spoilers already. A-Train's death. I really want to know how you felt about A-Train dying.
So that was the thing that got spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I think they gave him a nice redemption arc. That is not how it goes in the comics, according to my memory from binging it several years ago. I believe Huey actually kills him eventually in the comic. So it was a nice turn to see him kind of try to do better. We saw him pop up in Gen V, and we saw him helping out, the Starlight Resistance a little bit here and there, but without fully joining. And then he finally gets that moment where he's like he's fully there, and he pays for it with his life. I thought it was a nice setup there. One of the issues I have with this show, and it always ends up going like this, is that the insane level of plot armor everyone seems to have.
Right.
It made a lot more sense with in the comic because everybody had V. All the boys had V. So and they didn't necessarily have any special powers really. They were all just like standard superhuman strength and durability kind of stuff. But there's so many people that die in horrible ways, and just Homelander could do so much more damage than he does in every scenario, but they can't kill some of these characters. So on one hand, it was sad to see A-Train go, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, they're actually some stakes here, with main characters.
Yes, I agree with you. It basically comes down to they had to kill a main character in this opening episode because of the scenario that was set up. And I think that one thing we should also talk about is the end of the last season was so dire for all the main characters, and it was such a how are they going to get out of this one kind of moment. I know that Jason Pargin did a video recently where he was talking about how a lot of the times when a show ends for a season, they don't have a plan for how they're going to resolve the cliffhanger for the next season. And I feel like this one pretty much undid everything that was in the last episode of the last season. And I feel like to get out of that, you had to sacrifice someone. And I was kind of disappointed that A-Train was the person they sacrificed. I actually, they almost killed Huey 2 or 3 times in the last 2 episodes. And I kind of would have been okay with Huey dying.
They've almost killed Huey 1,000 times in the show. I mean, there is no reason he should still be alive.
Right. And I mean,
most of all, he has been in the most dangerous situations out of any character in this show, and still alive.
right. Yeah, I mean, in this first episode, Homelander's eye beams are like inches away from his face, and he's able to be saved.
Yeah.
And A-Train has his sort of Quicksilver / Flash moment. Basically, ever since X-Men Days of Future Past, they've had sequences with every kind of speedster in live action where everything is frozen or in slow motion, and they're able to manipulate the things around them.
Yeah.
Did you like that sequence for this show or no?
Of course I did. I always like it. I do consider it an homage to Quicksilver, particularly because from the X-Men side, because that's kind of where it originated, I think.
Right.
And I think it was best used. However, at the same time, it's like he shows up, Homelander's already got laser eye beams coming out of his eye, and he does all these other things. And you have to think, like, that's like the speed of light or something, you know? Like, there's no way. So it was hard, like that whole scene at the end there was very hard to just kind of suspend my disbelief for.
Right.
Because it was so outrageous.
Right. The show is a lot of fun, but what will happen is your comic book geek side will kind of take over sometimes because these characters are the equivalent of specific characters, like Homelander is Superman, and A-Train is the Flash, right? Yeah. And I mean, neither is as powerful as those characters, but they're like the equivalents. And the Deep is Aquaman, right? But you have the sequence where Homelander's chasing A-Train, and I was kind of surprised that Homelander could keep up with him. Do you think that too or no?
I mean, that's kind of always like the who's faster, Superman or the Flash sort of thing. I didn't mind it. I mean, it kind of makes A-Train's power seem less
right
useful, being that if Homelander can also do that. But I get the kind of comparison there in that situation, because you're not gonna ever see Superman chase down the Flash to kill him, sort of, so.
Right, that's a good point. I kind of was dissatisfied with the fact that A-Train died right away, and I thought they could have done more. But the one thing that was satisfying was that you had that woman crossing the street, which is essentially like the inciting incident of the whole show, Huey's girlfriend crossing the street, and A-Train avoids her, which leads him to crash, which leads to his death. So I actually was very happy with that.
Yeah, that was really a really nice touch there. That really capped off the redemption arc very well.
Yeah. And then, like, did you think that Homelander was going to snap his neck, or did you think he was going to do something more brutal?
I imagine. Well, you never know. I can't even say that. Like, they wouldn't show someone getting lasered in point blank range, but they probably have and would. So I think I was expecting something more gruesome, but it's a neck snap is still pretty intense.
Yeah, no, I mean, they fucking showed Elizabeth Shue get lasered in the eyes in the first season.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, just kind of going along with this A-Train thread, though, we can talk about the second episode a little bit. I also felt like there wasn't enough follow through with his death, considering he's like one of the main characters. Like, they do that whole thing in the beginning of the next episode where the 7 people are mourning him, and you have the scene where Homelander's talking about him. But I felt like out of the whole group with like Starlight and the boys themselves, you only get Mother's Milk spilling some alcohol to his picture in the second episode.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I mean, Huey's not gonna shed a tear necessarily, although I think he did as much as he was gonna do, because, like you said, that's how he got into this whole mess, is because of A-Train. Yeah. Without that, things could have been very different potentially. And I don't think anyone else really had a connection to him outside of Starlight, because they've all been there. They haven't really worked with him, on this side as much. So I think they still potentially see him as like sort of an antagonist, but sort of reformed, I guess. So
right.
I can see why there's not that much lost love here with the boys and the death of A-Train there. I did absolutely hate seeing the kind of like martyrdom of him, with the Seven and all that. I mean, I knew it was coming. So, but yeah.
No, so like, let's just talk about the Seven a little bit more too. One of the things that this show does so well, but it's very difficult to watch, is that it satirizes our culture, but just replaces our like political values, or sort of like augments our political values with superheroes. And just the way that our world is now, as the show continues to go on, the world just gets worse, and it's like, oh god, I don't know if I could like sit through a show where they're just putting it right in our face for an hour.
Yeah, just the freedom camps thing was like a hard thing to watch,
Yeah, right. Like that, and then also like the funeral for A-Train that you just mentioned. It's so like God focused and religious, and then like the terms that they use are terms that the right uses to villainize the progressives or liberals, where they're eating babies and they're gonna change your kids' genders and stuff like that. Like that stuff, it's like, oh god, it's like the real fucking world. I hate this,
Yeah.
But with that being said, like they have that one actor, I can't remember his fucking name, but he's from Hamilton. Dude, see, you're so fucking good. You're so fucking good. And then that's
my superpower.
That is your superpower. Yes.
Autism makes me remember things like that.
Yes. But like, he's with Ashley, right? And that was one thing that I had fucking spoiled for me, was Ashley's power.
Oh yeah, so we didn't even see what happened to her at the end of the last season. We just saw like her hair fall out and her head getting big, and I was like, wait, what happened here for a while? But it all makes sense there. That took a little bit to understand. Like it was like weird, because you hear that she's a mind reader, and then you hear her talking to herself. I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on here? And then you find the reveal of the other face in the back of the head, which is very, very oh my god, what's that?
Voldemort.
No.
Oh, god damn it! I know which movie you're. Malignant. Yes. Yeah. Well, right. It is like Malignant, and then it's also like Voldemort in the first Harry Potter book/movie.
Yes.
And that's how I had it spoiled. Like on social media, someone showed that shot from Harry Potter, and they were like, "Oh, poor Ashley." So yeah, it's okay. I think maybe it made me understand and appreciate it more while it was happening.
Yeah.
But one little thing about that is I like how she essentially maybe was kind of more progressive herself, but then just got seduced by power, because they were saying that she used to wear Birkenstocks and she threw clay and stuff, and
yeah. Well, I think it's a really nice, because the last season you saw A-Train and Ashley interact a lot, and how we were kind of like, disenfranchised with Homelander and everything he's doing there. But it's interesting to see the different paths. So like A-Train actually left, and Ashley was too scared to leave, and she gave in. So she probably feels the same way, but she is sort of giving in a bit, and kind of abusing her power as vice president.
Yeah.
I did not expect to see that.
Right.
But I really found that choice to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they were going to kill her in the end of last season, and now she's the vice president. But everyone is essentially a puppet, thanks to Homelander.
Yeah, even the president. Like he literally orders the president to make a drink for Soldier Boy.
Yes. Now I want to talk about Soldier Boy a lot, actually, but there's one other point that I feel like I need to get out of the way right away. Kimiko's voice.
Okay, yeah.
So I looked this up, and it shows that other people have looked it up, because it came up immediately in the search. Is Kimiko's voice dubbed for season 5? And they said, no, that's actually the actress. The actress talks like that. But I got to say, Brian, like, there's something about it. Maybe it's the fact that, like, for 4 seasons, she has never talked, and so you're kind of used to processing it like that. Yeah. But to me, it looks like she's dubbed when she's talking.
I can sort of see that maybe. Even the other roles I've seen her like she was Katana. No, not Katana. Katana, yeah, and
In Suicide Squad.
Suicide,
The
in Suicide Squad, yeah. No,
Oh,
in Suicide
the
Squad,
first one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't have many lines there. But it sounds like they explained it. Like she learned how to talk from TikTok or whatever. That makes sense to me. I also do think it's this poor actress has had to be silent for 4 seasons. Let her talk.
Right.
They don't let her talk in the comics. She does not ever speak.
Right. I actually thought, I was like, oh, is this like a deaf actress or like an actress who can't speak? And then they dubbed her voice for this, because there's something about like her eyes and then her mouth, but I think it's just because I'm used to her not talking that it's just messing with my brain. But she gets fucking laser beamed in half in the first episode.
She's so that goes back to the plot armor thing there. Like, she's the Wolverine.
Right.
Where everything that possibly bad could happen happens to her and only to her, and I get it because you need the characters for various reasons. But at the same time, it's hard to not believe,
Yes. Since we're kind of jumping around so much, and I know today we got this kind of crunch, let's just kind of hit the points that we want to talk about. Next week we'll go kind of character by character. But for now, I need you to answer to me. I can't remember, how does fucking Huey survive when that young Soup drops him? I can't remember that part.
Starlight saves him.
Starlight saves him. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. I couldn't remember that. So much happens in that fucking episode, especially the end of it. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, and we barely even talked about the second episode, but just to hit a few more points on the first episode, I really like the contrast of the relationship between Frenchie and Kimiko, and then contrasted with Huey and Starlight. They're kind of like very hot, they're very cold.
Yep.
I found that to be another, again, nice contrast, differences and choices and character development. I was very surprised to see Samir back. Oh no, that was the second episode. That wasn't the first episode. And I guess in terms of the first episode, the only thing we had to talk about, and I sort of joked about it, is the worm guy. I mean, he was like Ken doll sort of thing, like, right?
Yes.
God.
I didn't say this, but I was kind of looking for his dick. I was like, wait, is there a dick over there?
Yeah, we've seen plenty here. We've seen plenty of them.
Yeah.
In the boys' universe here. So, it's just like, you just don't think that they can come up with something else that weird, and they do.
Right. And Brian, I'm actually really glad that you brought him up, because I completely forgot about him, and there's so many other things to say. But he makes this one joke that's so meta and so great. He talks about how, like, he wrote the finale of a show. He's like, it's so difficult to write the finale because you want to satisfy everyone. Do you remember that line he says?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's the writers like speaking through this character.
Yeah, and I also thought it was sort of maybe I thought it was funny, or maybe I was annoyed. I was partially both with all the Reacher meta jokes.
Oh, are you a Reacher fan?
No, I haven't watched that show, but I know it exists. I know it's on Prime because you see commercials for it all the time. But just the fact that they're like putting in their own little advertisements in there,
Oh yeah. I hate that kind of shit too. But I did laugh out loud when he was like, you know what they say about guys that are really big, that they have big cocks. I thought that's so funny. Oh man. Okay, so I apologize for jumping all over the place. I think we should talk about Butcher and his dad, which that is in the first episode too. So Butcher goes to his father. We find out that Butcher's mother's dead, and then he goes to.
That happened the previous season or something like that, I think.
I thought the mom was still alive, and they talked about the brother.
No, the brother was always dead. I mean, the brother was dead, and Huey kind of reminds him of his brother, but I thought the mom had passed away already in the previous season. Either way, it doesn't matter here. I think the importance of this scene this is Butcher tying up loose ends. That was a very important part of the final book, I think. And I think, and I was kind of wondering if they were going to take this route or not. And that scene lets me think that they are.
Okay.
This is spoilers for the comic. If anybody doesn't want to hear it, Pete, if you don't even want to hear it, let me know. I won't say it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, never mind then. So just make a little mental note of that comment, and we'll see. We'll come back here and we'll talk about it when the show ends in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, with my fantasy booking and what you just said, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I know where he's going with this, but it's all good. What I wanted to bring up about that point was John Noble. He's supposed to have cancer in this show, and I thought that John Noble, the actor, looked kind of rough. Do you think that that's just them doing a good job with makeup, or do you think that John Noble himself might actually be ill?
Oh, I hope not. I love John Noble. I became so much. It was like one of my favorite old man characters of all time.
Absolutely. Right, and he's Unicron.
Is he Unicron? Wait, where was he?
He was Unicron on Prime, on Transformers Prime.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So good. We'll just say we hope John Noble's fine and good. He was actually on Severance, in the last season, so I was happy with that.
Wait, was he? What?
He was John Turturro. Spoiler for Severance. He was John Turturro's boyfriend. Oh, no, Christopher Walken's boyfriend.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we can't even talk about Severance. We have so many fucking shows to cover. So we also have to talk about the guy with the dick.
Oh yeah. Love Sausage. Yeah. He's been kind of MM's nemesis throughout the show, which is interesting because he was on the side of the boys sort of in the comic. But MM finally gets his revenge there. I think I'm assuming he's dead now. He at least had a spike stabbed through his dick. So.
Oh my God, yes. It's so bizarre to think that on a show they could show a man with a gigantically long penis just hitting people with his penis
and choking them and all kinds of crazy things. Yeah, again, that's why I made the comment about the worm. It's like, how could they think of these weird ass things?
Yes,
the male anatomy.
Yes. All right, well then that brings us up to Soldier Boy. So we know that Eric Kripke is the creator of the show, or he's adapted Garth Ennis's book, which Garth Ennis is just a machine for making disturbing things like that,
Oh, yeah.
But Eric Kripke, it's like whatever they might have thought about on Supernatural, they're like, oh, we could never do this. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do it on the boys.
Yeah.
And he brings back fucking Jensen Ackles. Jensen Ackles is so great in this.
Yeah.
I fucking love him. I'm so excited that there's actually going to be a spin-off show with him in it.
Yes. Yeah. There's going to be like more in the set in the past with the original Payback team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, is it called Vought Rising, I think?
I think so. And there's so many fucking good lines that he has within this second episode. It's so good.
Yeah. All revolving around dicks, pretty much.
Yes. And Huey says that to him. Huey, once again, he's holding Huey, choking him. Huey gets out of that.
Yeah. I want to call out a funny nod. I think they did that they didn't before. When Soldier Boy first wakes up, he's on Homelander's bed, and he says, "Did you fuck me?" Which is something that happened in the comic. They were not father and son in the comic, but that did happen. It was like a power move sort of thing. So it was a funny little acknowledgement to the comic there, I think.
Jesus.
And if it wasn't, I'd be surprised if they didn't intend it that way.
Oh, I'm sure it was a reference. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so glad that you have read the book and you can make these references. But then I'm trying to think of
the whole point of our show, our talking about things, is that we read the comics and we can kind of tell you what things are here, but we don't do a good enough job of it.
No, we don't. But then also, not many things are very faithful to the source material, as this show is.
Yeah.
Or Invincible is.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to it, though, I was just trying to think of what else I wanted to cover. We should talk about these teen heroes that they
Teenage
go to take out in the second
Yes.
episode.
So this is kind of funny again, comic reference here. Teenage Kicks was the team that was in the first arc of the boys. That's what that's who they fought in the first arc. So it's kind of funny to see that now at the very end, these kind of like teenage characters there. I don't particularly remember any of the individual characters from that arc there. So I don't know if that like Jetstream guy or what's the girl? The girl was She-Line or something.
She-Line.
I don't remember if those were particular characters from that. I do remember A-Train did come from Teenage Kicks, so that scene with him with his face on there on the wall, it was accurate. But I don't remember any of those other characters really being there particularly.
Like, well, that one character that was essentially was like Bad Rock or most likely the Thing. That was like a great effect. I mean, I'm assuming that was mostly CG, maybe some prosthetics, but I thought
I think it looked pretty much like it was there. Maybe not the lava, but I thought that looked like prosthetics and all real set pieces. And, and I kind of loved. I know you mentioned Bad Rock, you mentioned the Thing, you mentioned things like that, but all I could think of was Pizza the Hut.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're making a reference to something that's not a rock guy, what I kept thinking of was Pearl, that giant vampire thing in the first Blade. Do you remember that thing?
Oh, yeah, okay.
He like uses the ultraviolet light on it. Yeah. Regardless, it's just another like set piece where they're able to be like perverted. He's like has lava come. I can't believe I just said that. I don't think this video is gonna get a lot of views, but essentially they're gonna like douse him with the virus, and through circumstance they're able to douse multiple soups with it. Did you think that what was the girl wasn't called Raven Queen, right? Right?
No, it was
Crow something.
Crow
like Captain Crow or Crow Mother or something.
Captain, it was. Go look it up.
Like Crow Commander, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter, But did you think she was gonna get killed with the rest of the group?
Yeah, well, no, because of the connection that MM had there. Like I knew that he was gonna let her go, but I don't know where that's gonna go. I imagine we're gonna see this character again, and I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I really like that she lived at the end and that they showed like a crow and that she was walking away. Because I did kind of think that they just were going to kill her and it was going to be one of these scenes where they're like, oh, no, we're going towards the end now. Like things are going to get more brutal. So I thought that she was going to die with the other soups that were in there. How did did She-Line get killed? I don't remember what happened with that.
She just gets knocked out. Starlight like knocks her out or something. Or no.
Okay.
No, maybe it was Butcher. Somebody knocks her out. Does the other guy get killed?
The other guy absolutely gets killed because what happens is he's with like Huey.
Oh, yeah, he gets the virus, yeah.
Right. And he's the first one where you see it effective.
Yes.
So let's just talk about that when you kind of maybe wrap up the boys for this one. It's a really great fucking sequence because Soldier Boy shows up. I love when his fucking shield goes through the car windshield and like the vial of the virus is flying up in front of them. I love that part. It's like so reminiscent of like the Winter Soldier, which he himself is reminiscent of like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And I just love the fight with him and Butcher. And then he succumbs to the virus, and I was like, holy shit, is he gonna die? And then I like the way that he died, I was like, wait a minute, the way that's filmed, it doesn't feel like he's dead.
No, there's no way they would bring him back for that little amount of screen time.
Right. So I can't tell you how fucking happy I was when like Homelander's walking away from him and then he sits up like that with the bot. I love that so much.
Yeah, totally. It was a good little surprise there. The other things, I mentioned before that Samir was back and he was the one that was, Victoria Newman's like love interest and the father of her daughter. I forget the daughter's name. I find all that to be interesting because Butcher the whole time was saying that we have to get Frenchie out first. and they implied that they needed Frenchie to finish the virus, but then they didn't. So I'm wondering what that's all about, and I'm kind of making a mental note of that for later.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it could just be the writing, but it could also be that like Butcher is trying not to seem like he really cares about the boys, and so he's saying that thing about Frenchie, but then it's really because he wants to save his friends, you know? Because one thing that, and we didn't really talk about this, but like one thing they're really implying with this season is that like Butcher has like lost all of his humanity, you know?
Yeah, no, he's tying up loose ends. He's going for broke to take out Homelander. That's what the vibe you get from him.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot more that we could talk about, but like, have you said kind of everything that you felt like you wanted to talk about for this?
Man, I guess so. I mean, there's so many characters we didn't touch on. We didn't touch on Sage or the Deep, or we barely said anything about Starlight, really.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on with the show. I'm really excited it's back. I can't believe it's the last season. I'm actually happy it's the last season because it feels like, I don't want them to just create more random stuff to fill out more seasons because it makes them money. I'm happy they're ending it where the narrative ends. And I do think, and I say that also knowing that I think that the show has done a lot of things better than the comic has, although not completely everything, but a lot.
Yes. And Eric Kripke, who created Supernatural, he left the show by season 5, and had that show ended by season 5, I think it'd be like remembered as this like amazing thing. Yeah. But so yeah, there's more we can talk about, but we still need to cover 4 fucking episodes of Daredevil. So let's just hop over to that. If you guys like this and you like to hear us talk about the boys, make sure you subscribe. And Brian and I will swing our massive dicks right at you next time. See y'all.